Okay, so what does performance management mean to you?
Well, performance management is a way of really measuring if you're really on the right track as a company, as an individual. So it could be a set of tools, it could be a set of KPI, it could be a way to assess if you got the right mechanism or you got the right operating model to really get you from A to B. It could be volume, it could be measuring challenges, it could be tools in terms of measuring performance. It could be anything that a company might improvise and put in place.
What is the relation between performance management and strategic planning?
Well, they go very much hand in hand. You can't really perform, or you can't really sort of set that goal if you really don't know where the company wants to go. I mean, you could have the best performance in a company, or at least the best performance management tools, but not very much, pouring into the same line as the company strategy. So I think, you need to understand the strategy first in order to really set the right design, to set the right tools, to set the right mechanism in order to get the company again from the point A to the point B.
Which are the main challenges organizations face in developing strategy and managing performance?
Sometimes you'd find that communicating the overall strategy to the company is one of the biggest challenges. You find that, companies spend a lot of time to set it out, to communicate it, to write it, to talk about it. But yet you find that, it reaches at a certain level and it just stops there for some magical reason. So when you sort of, try to sort of assess, the company understanding or the employee understanding of, hey, where does the company want to go? What is the company strategy? So they can get their buy-in. A lot of times they'll tell you, look, it's not very clear for us. So I think that's really one of the major challenges, is really communicating it. And number two is not really having clear set of, of initiatives or the strategy is not even clear itself. Yep, you can have an overall strategy, but if you really don't have the drivers that are really going to get you there, it's going to get even more complicated.
What advice would you give to practitioners working in this field for overcoming these challenges?
Well, number one is that to make sure that they have the great tone from the top, that it's very clear from the top and it's supported by the top, be it the top leaders. Number two, to make sure that the drivers for the strategy is cascaded all the way down to get everyone's buy-in, so that everyone can really convert around it and not everyone doing their own thing or interpreting it by themselves and thinking that, yep, that's what I think it is. Right? And number three, really to communicate it in every opportunity managers get in meetings, in town halls, in all hands, even in their own meetings, just to make sure that, that everyone is very much aligned to that same strategy, that same cohort.
How do you see the discipline of strategy and performance management in your country today?
Well, I think, there's a strong partnership between both. And again, clarity in terms of strategy is really clarity in terms of expected performance, and if we have the reverse, then we're going to get really the reverse. So I think the more clear it is, the more it makes sense, the more employees buy into it, the more we are aware of everything that goes around in terms of microeconomics, in terms of cultural, changes, in terms of, even changes in the region, how that really fits into our strategy, and how is it communicated, and how is the performances adapted accordingly, is extremely clear for that. So it really is a partnership, it's a very strong partnership.
Which were the recent achievements in generating value from performance management in your organization?
Well, look, if we look at, today people, if I look generally speaking, people would be more happier to understand that what they're doing is very much contributing to the overall company performance or to the overall company outcome. So you'd find that a lot of KPIs that are driven today in companies are very much, a large portion of that is built on how does any employee in the company contribute to the overall company image, overall company results, overall company output. And if I look here, with us or in our company, we got high level of satisfied employees, we got less retention rates, and we got more engagement, be it from employees or be it from managers.
And last, what would you recommend as an approach for building a performance-oriented culture?
Look, number one is make sure that, a lot of companies have a performance-based structure in place, right? Make sure they got the right working environment, that that it's continuously nurtured, that it's continuously engaged, that people are continuously being recognized for their work, and moreover that that everyone is really part of the large picture. So everyone really has a role to play in, and that they feel part of the overall of the overall outcome, rather than doing their own things and doing their own and being siloed accordingly. So if you get their buy-in, if it is clear, you're very much there.
Thank you very much for your insights and your time.
Thank you.